Danny watches a lot of television and movies. John does not. Listen in as she tells him about what she's watching, and he tries to make sense of it all. Welcome to Watching My Stories with Danny and John.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Watching My Stories.
Here we are again.
I'm Danny.
And I'm John.
And I think I'm going to be a little bit more low-key today. My allergies are completely kicking my butt. So I will apologize if I sneeze. I'm sorry if I sniff a lot. I'm sorry if I cough more than usual because it's not fun.
She's having a tough day.
Yeah. I'm starting my horrible headache. So we're going to get through this together.
I, on the other hand, am fit as a fiddle.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to raise the energy for both of us.
Yes, please do.
Woohoo!
So I don't have a lot to talk about. So happy holidays, everyone. We made it through holiday week. We are doing this the Saturday before New Year's. So we've had a good week off.
Hope everybody was able to spend a lot of good time with their family and had fun and survived.
Yes. And for some reason, it felt like for a week off, I should have had a lot more to talk about, but I don't. But we're going to get through it anyways. And then as far as the Actors Corner, we are changing it to the 2018 corner, and we're going to revisit the movies that we saw this year and go through those as far as the ones we loved, liked, hated, etc.
Yeah, just to be clear, I just realized I did mine solely on movies, not on shows, TV shows.
Right. I did movies, but I do want to talk about my favorite TV shows of the year as well.
Okay, I've got two.
Yeah. Okay, so first and only movie I saw this week was Bad Times at the El Royale. This was a movie I was really looking forward to when it came out in theaters, and I didn't get to see it then. And it's got a great cast. It's John Hamm and Jeff Bridges and Chris Hemsworth and Dakota Johnson and Cynthia Erivo, who is she was in the original cast of the Color Purple musical. Okay. So she was great. It was great to hear her sing again. So here's the thing with this movie. I'm giving it 2.5 stars, but I feel like I should really rate it for the first half and then the second half.
Okay.
Because the first half was fantastic. I was completely enthralled. It felt very much like, I hate to say like the Tarantino thing. I'm sure that's what everyone compares it to, but it felt like something like that. It was, there's this hotel that sits on the state line dividing Nevada and California, and these 4 guests appear, and it's a very strange situation, and we start to learn more about each of these guests and what they're doing, and they're all doing something a little suspicious and strange, and it's being presented in this really interesting way, and I was enjoying it. We're in like the 50s or maybe early 60s, something like that.
Okay.
And so I was really excited.
You were into it.
And I was really into it. And then the second half happened where now everything kind of blew up with these people. We found everything out about them. And unfortunately, it kind of happened with Chris Hemsworth his appearance. And he's playing like this kind of cult leader, almost like Charles Manson. It appears he has people around him and they're going around killing people. And he comes to the hotel to get one of these guests back who was part of his cult. And it just slows down and just, it becomes something different. And I think they thought this was going to be the fun kind of now we can get violent type thing. But it just really, it slowed the pace down. It changed kind of what I wanted it to be, the story. And it didn't feel like, even when the ending came around that was somewhat satisfying, it didn't feel like it was satisfying enough because I had to sit through. So the movie was, I think, like 2 hours and 20 minutes. And it felt it. It didn't in the beginning, and then it did. So it was too much. And the guy who wrote and directed this is Drew Goddard. He wrote some things that we love. He wrote The Martian, the screenplay for The Martian.
Okay.
He wrote the screenplay for World War Z, which I know people don't like, but I love that movie. He wrote Cloverfield, the original. And then he's written a bunch of episodes of Lost, which everyone knows is my favorite TV show ever. And he wrote a bunch of episodes of Buffy, which is one of my favorite TV shows. So he's got a lot in him as far as writing. And I think the first half of this showed me that. And then I don't know what he was wanting to do with the second half, but it didn't work for me. And I think the problem really was directing, because when I looked at this too, so he directed The Cabin in the Woods, which was a scary movie, and I never saw it. I've heard it's great, but that's the only other feature he's ever directed. And I think maybe that's part of the problem, was just, it was more in the directing at the end of this that was kind of tedious.
Yeah.
More than the story. So anyway, 2.5 stars, Bad Times at the El Royale. Everyone's really good in it. It's just, it was such, I was so disappointed.
I've been saying it for years. You want to ruin a movie, put Chris Hemsworth in it. Okay.
And here's the thing too, when I'm watching him, like, he's great in this. And of course we see him in all the action movies, the couple of comedies he's done, Ghostbusters and Vacation. He's so funny in. I want him to just do like a regular movie that isn't him being actiony. And this one, he has a shirt off the whole time, which is just distracting because it's all you want to look at. And I think he's good. And I just want him to do something that's kind of, I always say this about guys. I'm like, oh, do a romantic comedy and we'll all be good. He'd be fantastic in it.
He probably would. Yeah.
So anyway, it's all good. But that's my take on that movie.
Hey, remember what I was saying a couple weeks ago, or maybe this wasn't even when we were doing the podcast that you and I were just talking.
It was.
About how for some reason everybody nowadays feels they have to do a 2-hour plus movie. And there are a lot of situations, a lot of movies where it just doesn't.
Because if you do it less than 2 hours, a lot of times it's already written off as a very silly thing.
Yeah, but to make it longer so you're not silly, I think several movies have been maybe ruined because of it. They're just too long. They do not need to be that long. And if you're gonna, if you're making it longer than 2 hours so people don't call you silly, well, that's kind of.
Well, no, people. I mean, look, you have a story in your head, especially when you have a writer-director at the helm. He wants to tell his story. So he's, I'm sure he was just like, I'm not cutting that. I'm not cutting that. I'm not cutting that, because it makes sense. It's part of the story, and so he's just unwilling to kind of give up on some pieces.
Which is fine, because then he'll learn through the reviews.
Right.
Which I'm sure people are reviewing and saying, or reviewed it. I mean, it's been out a while, saying this exact thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's learned from it.
Yeah. I think if I redid it myself, it would be a really interesting movie, because I could tell you exactly what to cut out, and it really it completely changed the pace. So anyway, enough of that.
Sorry.
So, moving on to TV then, because that was all I watched as far as movies. Our two streaming shows. The first one is on Hulu, called Runaways. Actually, it's called Marvel's Runaways. The second season came back last week, so I have watched the whole second season, and it's so weird because when I first watched the first season, I was surprised, and I was completely surprised by the second season too. It's a good show, and it's one of those that, of course I watched simply because it was a Marvel Universe thing. Entity, whatever you call it. And so that got me started, but man, I kept watching because of the show itself. It's so interesting and it draws me in. And so basically it's also a younger show. So it follows high school teenagers, and there's a group of 6, I think. And in the first season, they discover that their parents are all like these kind of supervillains. They all have this organization that they're part of, and they're doing horrible things. And so the first season is all surrounded by that mystery and what are their parents really doing and what is the point of what they're doing. So we found that out, and then finally at the very end, these kids ran away, which is hence Runaways. But the second season, they have run away, but now they want to try and take down their parents, as well as kind of be good to kind of balance out what the evil their parents have done.
Okay.
So, and what's interesting is that some of them have powers and some have ways to be the hero. So, one guy, his dad is like this super techie engineer guy. So he actually has like these gloves that have like shoot rays out, to harm people and that sort of thing. One girl, her parents are like, they do stuff with animals and that sort of thing, and they actually bioengineered a dinosaur, and she is connected emotional, like E.T. and Elliot were. She's connected to the dinosaur, so the dinosaur is with her, and she can control the dinosaur to go and attack people or protect her or whatever it is she wants to do. Another girl, her parents are super techie, and they kind of own basically what would be Microsoft kind of thing. And her mom had a staff that you can use spells with to do things and kill people or whatever. So the girl took the staff with her, and she can also control the staff. One girl's an alien, and so she glows and she can fly and she can do all this other stuff. But that was part of what we've been figuring out. She figured out she could glow and all that, but didn't know what was behind it. Who else is there? One girl is like, there was an accident when she was a kid, and now she's super strong. She kind of hulks out. Her eyes go yellow, and she can lift a car and do whatever. Is that everyone? I think that's everyone. Oh, and the other guy, the other kid, he's just a techie on his own, like a hacker, and so he kind of helps everyone with that sort of stuff. So it's, they all kind of have these things that make them very interesting, but it's not even. I'm just super surprised that I'm enjoying the show as much as I am. They've really done a good job of telling the stories, of you caring about these kids, about you hating the parents, but then the parents sometimes redeem themselves every once in a while, but then you never want to trust them. And it's just, they've done a good job of these mysteries. Mm-hmm. And even through the second season, we know the mystery, but yet there's been a lot of kind of different story arcs for a lot of them, for a lot of the parents, a lot of the kids, and with a cliffhanger. So I'm really excited for the third season.
Okay.
It's something that, again, I think, kids could watch because they can enjoy all of it. But really adults, if anyone's been looking at this going, I don't want to watch that, it's about teenagers or whatever, I think it's really intriguing, and it keeps me, it's one of those where if I watch like 2 or 3 episodes, I'm thinking about it all night afterwards. It keeps flashing into my head of what I watched and what's gonna, and so I'm excited to get back to it. It's really interesting. Okay. So there's 13 episodes in the season. They are hour episodes. 1 hour episodes are, 40, 50 minutes or whatever. So, but still it goes fast. Like by the time one episode is done, I'm like, oh, I can't believe it's over. Like, I want to get to the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's good. So that's Marvel's Runaways. It's on Hulu. You can go back and watch the first season, obviously, if you haven't, and then check out the second.
Okay. I have a couple questions.
Oh, yeah.
So your Arrow and Flash,
yes,
that's DC,
those are DC
right?
universe,
okay.
Yeah.
How does this compare with that series of shows or whatever? Is it
that's hard to say.
In competition with it, or is it similar enough that they're kind of easy to compare? I'm guessing not, since he said it's hard to say.
It's hard to say because these are short seasons, and obviously Arrow and Flash and Supergirl, they all do 20, 22, whatever it is, so they can tell much more of a story. To me they're all just as entertaining. I would say on the same level, of my desire to watch them, it's all the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if somebody like me sat down to watch it, would I be able to tell that it's Marvel? And I say that because right now, to me, the difference between a Marvel movie and a DC movie is it's like night and day.
It is.
They're just so vastly different, and Marvel is typically, in my mind, much better.
Yes, they are, as far as the movies go.
Okay.
Marvel, with their television shows, so Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this Runaways and The Gifted, the shows are also this just as good. As far, in my opinion, the Marvel shows have also been just as good. DC and the Marvel shows somewhat exist in the Marvel cinematic universe as well. Some of them do, like Shield, Agents of Shield obviously does. The Gifted not so much. They're more with X-Men, and so it's, you know. But anyway, DC universe, they have purposefully kept the movies and the TV universes separate, which is obvious because there's a Flash in the Justice League, and it's not the Flash that I watch every week. So they wanted to keep them very separate. In my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of the DC movies. They're very dark and long and boring and drawn out. And, you know, I can obviously watch Wonder Woman over, you know, a few times. And Justice League started to get a little better. It had a little bit more of a sense of humor. But the DC shows are so much better than the DC movies ever could be.
Oh, okay.
Ever could be. And especially the crossover that I just talked about last week.
Yeah.
Those 3 hours, that 3 hours of television I would watch more than any of the DC movies. They just are better. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know what they've done. Arrow is dark, but the Flash, Supergirl, they're very light, sunny. You know, everything happens at day.
Right.
Arrow, everything happens at night and in the rain, and you know, so it's a little bit more DCE,
DC-ish, I think.
Yes, than the others. But anyway, so to me, comparing DC TV to Marvel TV, they're the same, because I really do think DC has done a great job on their television universe.
Okay, so you would put it Marvel movies, Marvel TV, and DC TV kind of equal, slightly below, and then DC movies somewhere way down below.
For me,
yeah. No, I get that. I kind of feel the same, although I'm not the aficionado that you are.
Yeah. Granted, I haven't seen Aquaman, and that's why I won't go see DC movies in the theater. I just don't feel
Even
like
though
it's worth
Jason
it.
Momoa?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, I understand.
They just make them so long, and
we just had that conversation.
I know. They're just.
You're only helping me prove my point.
The whole nother thing. So anyway, so that's Runaways.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. The second show I watched is on Amazon Prime, called Vanity Fair. This is familiar to people. It's a book from the 1800s. And there was another TV show, I believe, like BBC show or something like that, done of it a while ago. But the only way I knew it, because obviously I didn't read the book, was there was a movie... I don't even know, 10, 15 years ago, probably 15 years ago now, with Reese Witherspoon, Vanity Fair. And
vaguely remember that.
Love the movie, have watched it numerous times, have always loved it. So when I saw this was a new series type, you know, limited series, there's only 6 episodes on Amazon Prime, I decided to watch it. The lead now being Olivia Cooke, who I stupidly didn't realize that she was actually English. She was on, the first time I saw her was on Bates Motel, the TV show. Mm-hmm. She was great in that. And then she's also in Ready Player One. She was great in that. And I believe she was in that Earl and the Dying Girl. What was that? Something like that. So she's great. I really like her. And I had no clue she was English. So I watched this. So there's 6 episodes. And I knew the story, so going along, you know, they're definitely sticking with the story, but obviously they can get into more detail and draw it out a little bit more, because we've got 6 hours versus, you know, the 2 or whatever that I've seen.
Sure.
And here's what was interesting about it. So if people don't know the story of Vanity Fair, it's really just this woman, Rebecca Sharp. We first see her when she's, this all takes place in Regency era England, and...
What is that for those that don't know?
1840-ish, 1840s.
Okay.
And which is my favorite time of. That's when all like Pride and Prejudice and Sensibility. That's all during the Regency era.
I thought that was Elizabethan.
No, Elizabethan is with the big. That's when Elizabeth was queen and the big collars and all that sort of stuff.
All
right. So Rebecca Sharp, she's at like a governess school. She's learning to be a governess or whatever. And we learn she's poor and doesn't have a good background and all that, which is the shame of everything during that time. And we just follow her then from getting out of that school to then her kind of journey through life and her entire mission of becoming more than she is. She wants to have money. She wants to have some sort of possible fame. She wants to get a title, whatever it is that she wants to get, and her basically scheming and doing whatever she can do to get there.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
If it's hurting friends, if it's, flirting a lot and then the flirting going too far, it's a lot of everything. So what was interesting was that in the movie, you see that happening. You see her getting to these stages and, she does get married because she thinks he's going to inherit a lot of money. Well, then because the guy marries her, he's cut off. So then they have to, figure out ways to make money after that. And she has to try and interest men around them so that these men will give her money and give her jewels and give her things. But in the movie, it just felt like she was kind of just being smart. It felt like she was being, she was taking care of herself. You know what I mean? Even though she was hurting a lot of people in her wake, it just felt like, well, she's just a survivor type person. What's interesting was that in this, because they could draw it out, or I was watching this kind of psychotic person for 6 hours do the same things, it was such a different story to me. Like, this could honestly be a Lifetime movie, because truly this character at this point now we could look at and go, yeah, she's gotta be a sociopath of some level. Like, she has a child, she can't stand the child, never wants it to be around, doesn't acknowledge it, all that sort of, like, she obviously can't love other people. She only wants what she wants. She really doesn't care about anything else. And you can see her manipulate, and they actually did something interesting in this with breaking the fourth wall, where when she would get into trouble or she would have to come up with a quick manipulation or lie, she would look at the camera and give some sort of like, we'll watch this type thing. And it was like, never did, especially with men, she knew how to just get whatever she wanted out of men. She could bring the tears on.
Men are easy.
But she knew it's great. Like, I love the story, and putting it in back then, it's probably back then it was some sort of fantasy thing of, can you imagine a woman behaving in such a manner? Whereas now it just felt almost, I was really disturbed by it this time. I was more like, okay, I can't believe this woman is so evil and like so horrible, and you feel so bad for everyone else. There's like this best friend that she had that just is the saddest sack in the world, and it was very interesting to kind of watch it. And the whole time I kept going, if they really stuck these people in today's clothes and put it on Lifetime and called it something, My Friend Rebecca, it would be like, everyone would just be like, oh yeah, it's an over-the-top Lifetime movie, blah, blah, blah. Whereas it's this like classic book that everyone's loved forever. And yeah, it's great. And it's ups and downs and people losing their fortunes and gaining fortunes and being written out of the will and dying and this. I mean, and it takes place during the Napoleon Wars. So of course, like, her husband and everyone they marry military men. And so they've got to go off and fight these wars. And so there's so much drama, but really when you drill down and look at this woman and her behavior, it's just beyond psychotic, and you never really get to know anything else about her because there is nothing else about her.
Right.
Every once in a while you'll be like, oh, she's doing something nice. She has a heart. It's like, no, not really.
She's doing it for a specific purpose, probably. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well.
So anyway, if you know the story, if you love the story, if you know the movie with Reese Witherspoon, it's a very great production. Everyone in it's really good. It's definitely worth seeing if you already know it and you like it. If you don't, I think it's worth seeing, but just be prepared for seeing a really horrible person do these things. Okay. But some people enjoy, like me.
Well, for some reason, when you were talking about her, I kept picturing that show, The Bachelor, where women, there's a group of women that all have to, I don't know, they're competing and using whatever they can to try to be the one that gets selected at the end, I guess, right? So I had this vision of her fitting right in with that. Or if it was present day, that being the situation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's Vanity Fair on Amazon Prime.
All right.
Yeah. So
no questions about that one.
okay. So that's all I have for this week.
Okay.
So we're just going to close out with our 2018 corner.
Well, do you want to talk about 2018 TV shows first?
No.
Okay. Rejected.
No, well, we can. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Well, so I don't have many of them, but I know you have a couple that you want to talk about.
I just have a handful, and honestly, except for one, they were all my favorites of 2017 as well, and they'll probably be my favorites of 2019. So, it sounds like a broken record, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on them, but
okay,
I just
you know what?
wanted to
Then we can skip it.
No,
really.
I want them. I have it written down. I'm going to talk about
okay.
them.
Okay, I thought we'd do this and then close out with movies.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So my favorite TV shows of 2018 then are Handmaid's Tale, of course.
Yeah, that's an obvious.
There's nothing better than that anywhere. Sharp Objects.
Yeah.
That was an amazing event. So loved it. And then the regular comedies, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, The Good Place, and Blackish.
Okay.
Those are always going to be top of the list.
Yeah, so I don't really have anything for drama, I don't think. But I did want to plug Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Good Place. Those are my two.
Yeah.
They both had, I think, different seasons than we were kind of anticipating. Especially Marvelous Mrs. Maisel was just started out different, way different than I was expecting. I enjoyed the second season almost as much as the first. I think it set the bar a little high, the first season.
Yeah.
The bar was just through no fault of their own, they just set the bar very, very high.
Right.
I read some reviews. People actually didn't like the second season because it was so different and just kind of...
I didn't think it was...
I kept hearing left field a lot.
That's weird.
It was kind of out of left field. Like, why do we spend so much time in upstate New York?
Well, I did feel like the Catskills went one episode too long.
I know.
Again, who cares?
But everything was entertaining about those episodes.
Yeah, it was.
So
I wasn't bored. I just felt like, let's get back to it.
Understood. And then for me, the payoff with her, I thought it was the last episode, but it was the second to last episode where she closed the telethon. I thought it was like the high point of her. Yeah. Of the season. Yeah. So, stuff going on there for the next season, and we'll hope it's just as good. That was it. That's okay. I just wanted to plug
Talking
Mrs.
about
Maisel.
it again. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay, so then let's get on to the 2018 movies.
All right.
So, movies you loved this year.
So,
well, did you count how many you've seen?
No, I actually didn't.
Okay. So I've seen 60 this year.
60 movies.
Yeah, and it was kind of depressing, actually. There are so many I haven't seen that I still want to see, especially from all of December. There's a lot in these last couple months that I haven't seen yet. So I've got a lot of making up to do.
Well, that's still more than one a week.
Yeah.
And I understand you didn't go to you didn't go to the theater for all of them. I understand that.
Yeah.
But still, that's a pretty good pace.
I guess.
I saw less than 60.
Yes.
I don't know what it was, but it was less than 60.
Yes. Okay, go back to movies you love.
So, in no particular order.
Okay.
I did these kind of in chronological order, actually. A Quiet Place. Mm-hmm. Deadpool 2. Mm-hmm. Ocean's 8. Mm-hmm. Crazy Rich Asians.
These are all under the movies you love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Wow.
I got it down to 6.
Okay.
A Star is Born.
Oh my gosh.
And Mary Poppins Returns.
Okay. And if you had to pick one.
That's really tough. I would probably... So, I was far and away the most entertained by Mary Poppins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would probably be between Mary Poppins and Crazy Rich Asians.
Okay.
With Deadpool probably in third.
Okay.
Ocean's 8 and Stars Born, and then A Quiet Place. And not because A Quiet Place wasn't great. It was. It's just, I don't like being that tense for that long.
Okay. So, the way I kind of, I've got, look, most of the movies I saw over the year, I I loved. But the way I think about things is how many times am I going to watch them? Because that's just how I live my life, is by watching things over and over again. So my favorite movie of the year, which I think I've mentioned every week, is A Quiet Place. And I have watched it, I don't know, 10 times, I guess, which isn't a lot for me for half a year. I mean, I think it came out in April, actually. So, but I love it. And I love everything about it. Yep. And so, yeah. But then second to that is Crazy Rich Asians, which that I just watched 2 nights ago because I didn't have, there's nothing on. And I was like, okay, I'll put that on. I think I've probably watched that 20 times since that came out, which is a much smaller time. I love that movie. And if you haven't seen either of these, you have to. And then for my third, I just chose Mary Poppins Returns just because I know when that comes out, that's going to be on a rotation for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Movies you liked.
Again, in no particular order.
How many do you have?
6.
Oh my God.
There were a lot of movies.
That's why you do the honorable mentions when I'm done, just so we can say we named them. But
fine, I'll do these as honorable mentions.
No, these are movies you liked.
Oh, I can't.
He still doesn't know what we're doing. It's been 6 months. This is our 30th episode, and he doesn't know what's happening.
Who are you?
Inner monologue.
Okay. Blockers.
Okay.
Avengers: Infinity War.
Okay.
Incredibles 2.
Okay.
Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Okay.
Mission Impossible: Fallout.
Okay.
And The Spy Who Dumped Me.
Huh. Those are all great movies.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'll take credit for those.
Okay, so under movies I liked, Searching with John Cho. I thought that was just a really, really good movie. I can't wait for you to see that because I think you'll really like it.
Who was the woman in that?
Deborah Messing.
That's right.
Yeah. And my second one here is A Wrinkle in Time. I know I saw some lists where people were putting it on the worst of the year list. I think those are men who obviously did that because I think it's an incredible female movie and young girl movie, and I love it. Yeah.
So in all fairness, it didn't make any of my lists, but I liked it. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike it, especially out of principle. I think men are.
Yeah.
Men piss me off too. I just want you to know that.
Yes. Good. Okay. Movies you hate. This one I could have had probably 10, but I narrowed it down.
Well, okay. So I only got 3.
Okay.
And I haven't seen any of them. So it's just
no. Then you're not. No, you can't.
It's out of principle.
No, you cannot do that.
Why?
You can't do that.
Why?
It's just not right. It's not right. That's like for me to go around saying I hate Green Bay Packers and I don't watch them. I have no clue about them. I don't know anything about them.
You have a reason for hating them.
Why would I have a reason for hating them?
I don't know, but you wouldn't go around saying I hate the Green Bay Packers if you didn't have a reason. Whether you watch them play football or not.
I could. Especially, okay, so you hate someone, like some team or something. Oh, and I could walk around going, oh, I hate that person or I hate that team because I've heard you say it. And I'm sure that's what's happening here is you're probably naming movies that I've told you were horrible.
No. These are all for my own reasons. And
you don't have reasons. You haven't seen them
however
yet.
Flimsy, they are reasons.
No, I don't. I veto.
This isn't the UN.
Okay, then let me go first so I can talk about the actual movies that sucked this year.
Fine, go ahead.
Because you haven't seen them. Because I don't make you watch them if they suck. That's why you'll never see movies that you don't have to hate, because if they're bad, I don't make you watch them.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Open Water?
Oh my God. And that was a good movie.
No, it was not. No.
And that was 20 years ago. The second Open Water People was really good. If you saw the first one, didn't like it, watch Open Water 2. It was really good. Anyway, so movies I hated. Hereditary. I know everyone seems to think it's the scariest movie in the world. Well, now it's been replaced by Bird Box, which again I found to be not scary and boring and whatever. Everyone knows I didn't like Hereditary. Thought it was boring, stupid, didn't scare me at all. Too long. Second one.
Do you think your bar is too high?
I think I obviously have a different idea of what's scary.
Okay.
I think something scary, different things scare me than obviously what scare other people.
Okay.
Yeah. And that is real people. I think I'm more scared by real people than by a fictional thing.
Something that's plausible.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, or it has to be done right. Like Paranormal, we had this whole conversation. Paranormal Activity was done right where that was scary. But now I'm not. It's like one of those I can go back and watch over and over.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
So anyway, enough about that. Second movie I hated this year, Jurassic World, whatever it's called, Fallen Kingdom. Bad.
Is this the one with the dinosaur in the bedroom?
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bed. Well, I guess
It lost.
was,
So it lost me.
You didn't see it. You can't say anything. You didn't see it. You can say why you didn't see it.
I didn't see it because the trailer
I know.
had a dinosaur in a bedroom, and I was like, no, just no.
I know.
So can I hate it for that?
You can't hate the movie. You can say, I knew it was going to be bad, so I chose to never see it. Okay, what are your...
No. Are you done?
I'm done. There were plenty of others, but...
Well, I don't want to rob you of the opportunity to vent about bad movies.
These were the only two I wanted to pinpoint.
All right, so I'm gonna go through these three real quick.
This is the curmudgeon corner. Welcome.
Welcome to the curmudgeon corner. Now get out of here. Get out of my corner.
Okay, moving on.
Death Wish.
I'm like, you didn't see it.
I didn't see it. It shouldn't have been made. It didn't need to be made.
I want to see it. I'd rather watch Bruce Willis do that stuff than the other guy.
Who's the other guy? Charles Bronson?
Yeah, I never saw that one. But I will watch Bruce Willis do it.
Whatever. Hurricane Heist?
I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not sure I would have hated it. It just shouldn't have been made.
This is kind of the thing. I hate that the movie was made.
Right.
Or that it, there's no reason for it. And the third one?
Yes.
Is Vice.
What was that?
It's the one that's coming out about Dick Cheney.
Oh, the one that's nominated for everything?
It's not.
It is nominated.
And I hate that.
Well, and again, we've had this discussion about Vice. There's no reason to hate this. You haven't seen it. It is getting nominated, and Adam McKay wrote it, and he's good.
I understand that. I know who he is, and I understand that. I'm just tired of these movies. This looks like
movies.
This looks just like another American Hustle,
it's
or
not.
The Big Short, or some of those.
It's kind of The Big Short because Adam McKay wrote that too.
I understand that. It's just okay. We get the idea. You can
get the idea.
This
is a movie about Dick Cheney that we've never had before.
All right, so maybe hate is too strong a word for this
it just
category.
You choose not to see it.
That
it's simple.
I choose to dislike.
Right.
Yes.
Even though you won't watch it.
For whatever reasons.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be because I saw it and I didn't like it.
Okay.
It's just out of principle.
So is that a ding?
Yeah, that ends today's Curmudgeon's Corner.
Thank you.
Now get out of here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go back to movies you secretly loved.
I only have one.
Oh my goodness.
I wear my love on my sleeve for all of the movies except for this one.
Okay.
Tag.
I don't think that should be a secretly thing because that was fun.
Here's the thing.
Oh,
I'm not a big.
We're back in the corner. Wow.
I still have one foot.
I thought I was going to be the one in a bad mood today.
I still have one foot in the corner.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a big fan of Ed Helms. I think you know that.
Which also doesn't make sense. You love Hangover.
I do, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't help who I like and don't like.
I know.
I've tried and I'm trying. I do not like Jeremy Renner. We've
already talked about Tag. I don't think we need to go on and on about it.
You asked why it's a secret, and the secret is there are several people in here that I don't really care for.
Okay.
But I kind of like them in this.
Okay.
And I like the movie partially because of them.
Okay.
That's why it's a secret.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now get out of here.
Okay.
I'm kidding, Pop.
It's gonna develop a catchphrase if we don't stop soon. Okay, so I didn't, again, same thing with me, is I didn't really know what to put here because that secretly loved thing seems weird. So I just decided to put in all the comic book movies under this category because they definitely stand out this year. Black Panther, Infinity War, and Deadpool 2 were all 3 incredible movies this year. And again, hope Black Panther gets that Oscar nom. And I just put them under here because I wanted to acknowledge them somewhere. It's not a secret that I love these. Obviously, we just had a whole conversation about them all. But and Ant-Man and the Wasp, that came out this year too. And that was actually a very entertaining movie. Loved that one much more than the first one. So yeah, I love those movies and just thought I'd stick them in this category.
Do you think Black Panther isn't going to get an Oscar nom?
I think if it doesn't, we riot. I really do. I think if it doesn't, it's going to be a really big deal. So no, I think it will because it's done really well with everything else so far.
Yeah.
And I think with the new members that they've added to the Academy, I think for sure this year it'll be in that Best Picture running.
Okay, good.
I don't know if it'll win. I have to see what else they put up there, but we'll see.
Well, Quiet Place is going to be there.
I don't know that.
I think so.
I think he might get a screenplay, which is weird because there's no talking. But
why wouldn't he get director?
I don't think he will.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
I personally wish he would, but no, I don't. It's too. That's too much.
For the record, if there's a riot, if you need to riot, the curmudgeon is in.
Okay. Any movies you're embarrassed you haven't seen?
Yes, one. You know what it is?
I do.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
We did.
Black Panther.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know. I can't believe we need to do that. Let's just do that today.
Fine. If you'll wipe my list of chores to do today.
I didn't know where you were going. I heard wipe my and I didn't know what the rest of that sentence was going to be.
I'll make you a deal.
Took a moment.
I'll make you a deal. I'll watch Black Panther if you wipe my
Okay, so I didn't put anything under... Okay. We're pulling it back together.
It's like the worst deal
So
of all
sorry,
time.
people. It's the end of the year. I didn't put anything under the embarrassed I haven't seen yet because I started writing so many under I wanted to add to my watch list. And to me, that's in this instance, which it normally isn't when we're doing this, but in this instance, it is the same because if I haven't seen them, I definitely am adding them to my watch list. So I'm going to skip ahead. And the ones that I wrote down are Sorry to Bother You, which is on Hulu, so I need to watch that. Black Klansman and The Wife with Glenn Close. Those 3. There's a whole bunch from the last month, too, like Widows and the ones that are out right now, The Favorite and Mary Queen of Scots and Welcome to Marwen and what else is out there?
I do want to see Welcome to Marwen.
Yeah. So there's a ton out there right now that I definitely want to see, and I wasted my whole week not going and seeing them. But those 3 are definitely ones that I need to go back and watch right now because, again, they are also getting a bunch of nominations. So how about you adding to your watch list?
I've got 4.
Okay.
Obviously, Black Panther.
Yeah.
The Leisure Seeker, because I like Donald Sutherland and Helen Mirren.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you don't recommend it?
No, it's just depressing.
Oh, okay. That's off the list. I don't need depressing, says a curmudgeon in the corner. First Man.
Yes.
And Ready Player One.
Yes.
So I know you just saw that.
Yes.
We were supposed to see it together.
Yeah, but I'll watch it again.
Why not?
Totally. Yeah. Okay. So now I just want to go through my honorable mentions, the other movies that I really liked this year that I didn't feel like putting 10 in each category, and like some people. Annihilation, loved that movie. It was everything that the other one wasn't. What was the other one? Not Contact. The one with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner.
The Arrival?
Yeah, that one sucked. Annihilation was good. That's what I wanted.
I still want to see The Arrival.
Ugh, no. I will not watch that with you. Love, Simon. Such a great movie. Ready Player One. I Feel Pretty. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Mamma Mia 2, which I know you talked about. Fallout. You talked about The Darkest Minds. I really enjoyed that movie. Spy Who Dumped Me. Tag. Peppermint.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Peppermint.
Yeah.
Peppermint, just for the record.
Yeah.
That's the movie where I'm turning the corner on Jennifer Garner.
Yes.
Yeah.
2019 might bring you... I don't know if she has anything coming out, but we'll see.
But if not, so we watched the first episode of
Alias,
and I like that.
Yeah. So we can keep doing that.
I think I just like badass Jennifer Garner instead of sweet Jennifer Garner.
I think so. Because you watch all the other movies of hers. Like,
yeah, and I don't really care
I know.
for her.
That's weird. A Star is Born. Everyone knows I love that one. The Hate You Give was a wonderful movie. And I think that's everything I wanted to mention. So we do have a lot of movies still to watch from this year, but hopefully going into next year, January is going to be good with Glass. What? So looking forward. That's my first movie of the year, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, On the Basis of Sex. That's another one I gotta get out there and see.
Go RBG.
Anyway, so that is our 2018 in review. We probably missed a lot of movies that you guys loved and saw, and I'm sorry, but we can't go every day.
Yeah, that's why this is us and not everybody else. This is our opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
You say this is us, people think about the show.
I don't.
Aw.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Milo.
I don't care about him. I told you I only watch it for Sterling Brown's family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Sterling.
Yeah, so that's that. I think we will see you guys next year and hope that you all have a wonderful New Year's Eve and safe and be careful. And that's it.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful and safe Happy New Year.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much for sticking around this one.
Yep.
Sorry we went off a little bit.
We'll try harder next year.
All right. Have a great
Holidays.
week.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.